Hey guys, episode 3 of me making my roguelike. So, in this episode, I'm keeping it simple again. I just added in a health and attack stat for both the player and the enemy, and it's just super simple variables which I assign to both the player and the enemy. And I want this game to be kind of like Hotline Miami, just like, where taking damage is definitely like something very dangerous. So, starting health for the player is I currently it's one. I might bump it up. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to keep it as one. And then starting health for the very first enemy is going to be two. So it's going to take two shots to hit. And really, that was the easy part. The rest of it was just tedious, saying when the enemy hits the player takes damage. When the player's bullet hits the enemy takes damage. When enemy's health is below zero, enemy dies. When player's health is below zero, player dies. And also, just to kind of add a little bit of a spicy, just to, I don't know what I was going to say there, but yeah, just to spice it up, I messed around with the time. So whenever the player dies, it will slow down to zero point 0.2 time. So give it a nice little slow-mo effect. Currently, the player is destroyed. I kind of don't want the player to be destroyed, or at least not just flat out disappear. But that's stuff for way in the future. Way yeah, that's stuff for future me to figure out. And then as you'll see here in a bit, another thing that I worked on was giving the enemies like variants whenever they chase after the player. So at first I just put in the normal pathfinding ability, uh, where set it to avoid solids and all that, and it worked, but it wasn't the best. So then I tacked on a little line of code, which basically makes it to where every zero point 0.5 seconds, the enemy is going to find the location of the player again, and it's going to chase after it, which gives the ability, like, well, it gives the enemy kind of like a. It's kind of janky because, the enemy pauses, but I think it looks kind of good because it gives the player a chance to react, and also it allows me to make the enemy a lot more faster, especially because it's a melee enemy. And then to add in just some variance to all that, I made it to where the enemies and also the player are solids. So whenever the enemies are first pathfinding, they're going to take different routes to find the player, which it doesn't work all the time because at the very end you'll see that the enemies will tend to group up together whenever there's multiple, and I thought that would fix it, but it really didn't fix it. It just, I really didn't do much, but it does make the enemies spread apart a lot whenever they first spawn in, which, it looks a lot better. It's not just a trail of enemies, and it adds some more variance to the game. In the next update, I'm hoping to add in, uh, I'm not actually sure what I should do next. I think next up I should probably start work on the map. My plan for the map is it's going to be very similar to Left 4 Dead, to where, or no, no, back. It's going to be similar to Back 4 Blood, to where it's a set map. It's just like the location